Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the good, the bad, and the awesome for Datacron set 30, Peace and Power. We're going to be going over everything about this set, from stats to alignment, faction, and character abilities. I'm going to talk about reroll priorities, and then focus Datacrons. This is a 3v3 set, and honestly, I can't believe we're on set 30. And partially that's because we should be on a 4-month rotation, and we should be at like set 27 or something. But anyway, this is the 3v3 set. It's decent. It's not overwhelming, at least in the normal crons, but let's get into stats. So it's been a while since I've felt like stats has been much different. We have defense again. We have crit damage again. We've been getting health and protection most of the time. We haven't always had protection on a set. I think there's a couple sets ago we didn't have it. But anyway, there's a lot of good options. I would say defense is absolutely the best. If you can get every single roll defense, you should be happy. Crit damage is the best damage stat. The only other one that relates to damage is crit chance, and that doesn't even increase your damage potential. It just increases the chance of crit. I think crit chance, potency, not really that worth it. Potency, the value is high, but it's more for niche uses, whereas you might want like 1 or 2 high potency datacrons for specific things in mind, of like really debuff heavy teams, or if it's extremely crucial to land the debuff. Otherwise, I think you should go for defense, crit damage, protection, health, and then tenacity. I gave it the good rating. Kind of like potency, it should be something you have a specific purpose in mind. Maybe 1 or 2 that have high tenacity. I don't myself go for those, but there's definitely uses to them. But yeah, I'm just going for as much defense, crit damage, survivability as I can get personally. As for the light side abilities, there's one clear great one, the Thick Cron, Bulk Cron, whatever you want to call it, 15% max health and protection for each other light side ally. However, keep in mind this is a 3v3 Datacron set, and this is much better than 5v5, so just keep that in mind before you load up a million of them. The turn meter gain from using a special is decent. I wouldn't say it's awesome, amazing, or anything, but it's definitely good. The rest of these are crap. We've seen them plenty of times. This one is new, the 100% crit chance while attacking out of turn. For characters that matter what their damage output is, or matters if they crit, usually they have enough crit chance. This game's very crit chance heavy, so I don't think of that as good. If you have, like, I don't know, Ben Solo or like a special damage dealer that doesn't have a ton of crit chance, maybe that's an argument there, but typically Ben Solo isn't attacking a ton out of turn, stuff like that. But yeah, definitely better than what we have in Dark Side, though, because in Dark Side we don't have anything I would categorize as awesome. The 2 good ones are speed up on basic, that's any basic, attack out of turn, what have you. It's good because it's not a buff that's everywhere, but it's not amazing because there are plenty of instances where speed up is given out. Yeah, I do think that's probably the best one here. The damage, max health damage based on debuffs, that's okay. That's decent. All these are crap. These are ones we've seen pretty much a lot. Same thing to say about the crit chance stacking out of turn. It's just, I don't know, it's lackluster. Anything with crit chance in this is kind of like, yeah, it's just not a good sign. But yeah, nothing awesome here, so nothing to really stock up on or make sure you get it before it's gone. Those would be like turn meter and 15% health and protection, things like that. But then also this is 3v3. But yeah, I would say speed up if you're going to build a dark side Cron with a set. Next up, for the level 6 abilities, we have Sith on the dark side of things. Relatively strong options. Even the bad ones are not that bad. Damage immunity for 2 turns at the start. It can be dispelled. I think that's okay. That's a decent one. There's definitely uses where, especially on offense, you go in if you know there's no dispel on the other side, and you can get a lot done in this first couple of turns. It's pretty solid. The ones I would highlight the most, though, are bonus turns for falling under 100% health. This is a huge defensive cron because on offense, you might not want to use that. It might help a little bit if you're going to be teetering in between full health and just taking some hits, but you have good recovery. Because on offense, a lot of times you want to be winning wire to wire clearly without having anyone get endangered. But on defense, the natural state of things is they're going to be whittling down your teams, and this is going to make it really hard for them to get a clean win. or maybe even a win at all. So I do love this bonus turn for defensive purposes. The other awesome one is whenever an enemy is inflicted with fear, pain, or shock, Sith allies, and I read that as all Sith allies, gain 5% offense stacking until the end of the battle without a limit. This is great for like a Darth Revan, Sith Empire team, like a Palpatine team. Pain, that is something inflicted by Darth Sion, so Traya could get that going. And all these are debuffs that you can apply in an AoE fashion to the whole enemy team, and that's just 25% offense for your whole team. Now, there is a Darth Revan focus datacron, so whether you go for that focus datacron or have this as consolation, that's up to you. But I think a Palpatine and New Vader for this would be great too. That's just, it's got great potential. I would be a little bit scared of this to see that on the team. When enemies are damaged at the start of their turn, Sith allies gain 2% turn meter. I think that this is like dots, which will work with, you know, Darth Vader, not Lord Vader, because he can't have his turn meter manipulated. It's, you know, he's kind of limited use. But if you're a small account and you have all the relics to use this, I mean, go for it. Whenever Sith allies stagger or stun an enemy, they deal bonus damage equal to 35% of their max health. So the only reason I'm marked that as bad is it's more situational. The stuns aren't extremely common across the Sith, and staggers as well. I mean, with stagger, I think of Bastille Sean Fallen, stun, drawn a blank kind of. I know there's got to be some, but it's just not very frequent. If it was a team that was heavy on stuns, I mean Palpatine stuns. But like for him, it's like, do you want a whole bunch of extra offense or do you want max health damage? I don't know. Definitely some uses, but I just wouldn't go for it. And that is the Sith faction. For Galactic Republic, we have an interesting dynamic. I think there's 3 ones that I would say are bad and a couple of awesome ones, and I've even given suggestions because it was a limited enough set of viable targets for me to suss out. This turn meter removal chance, so small, it's bad. This protection recovery based on health, I mean, yeah, it's going to do something. If you get crit, you recover 12% health. I could see where that might be effective if you're facing like Geonosians that do small hits and they're critting a General Kenobi or something, but just not a practical situation. So none of those are great. We got this long one, but then we also have this short one that I'd recommend for JMK. The long one. At the start of the battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, hence JMK down here, whenever a Galactic Republic ally with protection up assists, very common buff for Galactic Republic, if there are no enemies with protection disruption, they inflict protection disruption on the target enemy for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. So this is like one at a time, like one enemy at a time is going to get protection disruption, and it's going to get locked. Protection disruption is one of the most busted debuffs out there. You can't have, I don't know, I feel like sometimes I've seen the purple protection up, or maybe bonus protection, but you don't have any protection, it's just your health. So it massively makes it easier to kill someone. So that's really good. And it's irresistible. And then while Galactic Republic allies have protection up, they have plus 50% accuracy, counter chance, crit damage, and can ignore taunt. That's all amazing. So I think of that as fantastic for the Padme team and a Queen Amidala team. And the Padme team might be pretty viable on its own, even in higher levels, because of some of the level 9s we have too. So just keep an eye out for it. And then Queen Amidala is always pretty viable, one of the better teams in the game. So those are fantastic. You could read that the stuff after this first clause, like it could work on a Galactic Legend team, like the accuracy, counter chance, crit chance, and can ignore taunt. Maybe that applies to JMK. I'd have to wait till people read it in the coding in the game. But I would rather just go with this for JMK. Whenever a Galactic Republic ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. That's really nice for this team because you start out with an insta-kill. You get Kat to do the kill, and then she can immediately pass a turn off to someone else. If you have, like, Mace Windu in the team, he can swap turns with someone else. So I just see it this way. Kat gets an insta-kill, swaps to Mace, Mace swaps back to Kat, and then Kat can, or maybe Mace swaps to JMK or something. I don't know. Or maybe just have Kat swap to Ahsoka and get the charge going to get back to that kill. So I think that's a nice boost to a JMK team. It's decent for any team, but I think this is definitely better if you're using Queen Amidala or Padme. There's a lot of other Galactic Republic teams. There's like Bad Batch clones, but that's less viable. There's Keller and Beck. There's the Jedi Vanguard teams. Those are pretty good too. So I think of probably this one for Jedi Vanguard because I do get that protection up. Just probably the best one all around, unless you're JMK. Next, we got Sith level 9s. And when Palpatine said that the dark side is a path to many abilities, someone considered to be unnatural, I don't think it's that much of this set. It's not a super deep batch of options. Bad one, Sith Assassin, Sith Trooper, and Sith Assassin Stealth. They reduce their cooldowns by 1. Oh, great. Who cares? No one cares, Sith Assassin. No one cares about your special abilities. Although that is some turn meter gain, for what it's worth. Whenever Sith Trooper critically hits an enemy, he stealths for 1 turn. Whenever he loses stealth, he gains 30% defense penetration and 50% offense for 1 turn. If that was no cap, then like no limit, now we're talking, but it only lasts 1 turn. It's going to be a slight boost if you have nothing else, I guess. It's not something worth chasing. Whoa, whoops. Scrolled up a couple slides. Dooku, whenever a post is removed, so he has to have gotten his special and then get that dispelled. Inflict protection disruption on the weakest enemy for 2 turns. While Dooku has a stealth separatist or Sith ally, he gains 30 speed, deals 50% more damage during his turn, deals 100% more damage when tagging out of turn. So that's good. That's actually a good ability. It's just his viability is limited. It doesn't like massively make a huge swing. You have to be playing at a level where Dooku is on a viable team, like Trench is viable. It's just been a long time since that's happened. TW though, this could be kind of nice. This is more of like a TW ability for a Trench team because that's where Trench is viable. The better ones, and Maul, has a potential to be an awesome one. I just, jury's out because Maul himself is weaker. If the ally in the leader slot is Darth Maul, he gains 200% offense for the rest of the battle. Whenever Sith allies stealth, they recover 30% health and protection. When Sith allies are stealth, they gain 100% crit chance and crit damage. And whenever a Sith ally uses an ability, Darth Maul assists. So that is pretty strong. His leadership is a bit lackluster. But if you put him in the lead, you're going to get a ton of offense, get a bunch of crit damage, 100% crit chance. He'll be critting. He'll be assisting a lot. And it's an ability. That means a special or a basic. So whenever a Sith ally uses a basic, I'm guessing that's limited once per turn. Otherwise, it'd be if there's a mass assist, like Sith Eternal calls a mass assist, he would assist on every ability. But usually these are written, it's limited to once per turn. I don't know if this actually gets him to the threshold of viable. He's still very squishy. He doesn't have great base damage multipliers, but I could see it being good if you stack his team with great Sith, like Malak, Malgus, Sith Eternal, like all the best. Maybe it's really good, but I don't know. I'm going to mark it as good, just not awesome. Emperor Palpatine. So this is something that could potentially be easily worked around if you're facing it on defense, but then again, not necessarily. The first time Emperor Palpatine is defeated, if there's an active ally, the enemy who defeated him is instantly defeated. That's kind of crazy. That's like a, there's a move in Pokemon, this Destiny Bond. It's like, if I die, you're dying too. So if you're facing it on offense, the solution is you just kill him last. I think the clause that says New Vader can't die until Palpatine's dead, that's on the focus datacron, so this wouldn't overlap. But if you accidentally kill him before killing everyone else, you're going to lose someone. Bring it on offense. Is where it could be more useful because the AI isn't going to be smart enough to avoid that. But then even if you're losing him, you're losing banners. I don't know. Whenever shock or stun expires from an enemy, they inflict buff immunity, 1 stack of damage over time, and healing immunity on all enemies for 1 turn. So that is good. They're dispellable, but buff immunity and healing immunity especially. No buffs, no healing for the whole team. And he does shock or stun liberally, like it's all over the place, and combine that with a good level 6 where he does the shock and stun extra offense. That's gonna be pretty good. Pretty annoying. So I do think this is probably the best Sith one and most likely to be used because you have the New Vader team, you could have a Starkiller team, and that would still be really valuable. So yeah, it's a pretty good one. And for the Galactic Republic, We have a pretty mixed bag. For Echo, that's the bad one. This is OG Echo. When he attacks out of turn, recovers 20% health and protection. Big deal. I see that as +1 banner on offense. Not too impactful. Mace Windu, whenever he gains turn meters, that can't be on JMK or Padme team. He gains 5% max health up to 200% until the end of the encounter. When Mace Windu has a Brazilian defense and Shatterpoint is removed, inflict Shatterpoint on a random enemy until the end of the encounter. There's a couple of ways to read this. It might seem like something that it's not. So when Shatterpoint is removed, I'm interpreting that as cleansing, or you hit the Shatterpoint and it goes away. Inflict Shatterpoint until the end of the encounter. I don't know if that's a permanent locked buff. Either it could be a normal buff that could be dispelled, or it could be a locked buff, which it doesn't say, that stays there to the end of the encounter, or it could be something that stays there until you hit it. I don't know. If it's something permanently there, that might be awesome, because if you just hit the Shatterpoint over and over and over again, they're getting whittled away to nothing, and you're just really benefiting, which would be awesome. But I'm reading it as more like it'll probably go away after you hit it once. I don't know, but that's just double Shatterpoint. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with Shatterpoint, Mace recovers 10% health. Whenever he uses an ability on a stunned enemy, reduce the cooldown of Smite by 1. That's just his single target stun move, which is whatever. But it's good. So on a Queen Amidala team, or like a Keller and Beck team in TW, or a Qui-Gon Jinn team, all are options. You could also use him just on a JML team. He doesn't have to be with Galactic Republic, although the level 6 is only for Galactic Republic. But yeah, it could be versatile. I think it's a decent one. Jedi Anakin. Whenever Anakin takes a bonus turn, so someone else fell below half health, all allies recover 25% health and protection, and his cooldowns are reset. Whenever Anakin uses his basic while ability blocked, he dispels it and inflicts ability block on the target enemy for 1 turn. So the only time this would matter is if it's a more than 1 turn ability block from that side of things. Otherwise, you could just write it as, if he's ability blocked, he inflicts ability block on an enemy. That part's kind of like lackluster. The biggest thing is cooldowns resetting. So I think of this as a great trap on a Qui-Gon team. Normally, you can draw out his AoE early and then kill Qui-Gon, and then Anakin only has a basic, and then you just take care of him from there. But this would mean he can just spam the AoE from his bonus turns, and that would be a great defensive tool where Qui-Gon is still viable. I don't know if it's quite Kyber 1 viable, which is why I just rate it good, but it is a decent ability. The next slot is our last good one, and then the only one I rank as awesome, which, it's debatable. So the Deepa Balaba. Whenever Depa uses an ability, inflict a stack of investigation on target enemy for 2 turns. Okay, so that's easy. Get the investigation going. Whenever a stack of investigation is inflicted, she gains 5% offense up to 150%. And she does a lot of damage, so that's a not trivial amount of extra offense. She could really ramp her damage. Whenever an enemy is revealed, whenever they use their special ability, they ability block themselves for 2 turns. So I just think of it as good because it's in addition to a team that's already pretty decent. It's pretty viable, and it's just kind of an easy call. You have that worry level 6 about the protection up and protection disruption, the extra stats, plus this. I think you got a pretty decent Jedi Vanguard team. So I think it's definitely, if you got a deep roster, yeah, pick it up. But it's not like one of those massive, like the pinnacle of the set that you have to pick up. Last, and like I said, I can already see that this could be debatable, especially because it has to be Padme in the lead. But that also is what makes it valuable. If Padme is in the leader slot, whenever Ahsoka attacks out of turn, Galactic Republic allies gain protection up 30%, stacking for 3 turns. That's great. 3 turns. It's going to last to get transformed into Courage. She assists all the time. So she is one of the characters. Her special can get protection up. Her basic doesn't, but her special, she's only got 1 special. This team, Padme team, is all about getting protection up and just melting people. If she is adding on to any, like most of the allies on that team, Padme, Anakin, sometimes Mace, Ahsoka herself too, they give out protection up with their specials, and she's going to come in and give you more. That's going to be a lot of courage. So it's limited applicability because people don't really use Padme anymore, but Ahsoka with JMK. But if you're a smaller account or mid-game account, this is worth trying out. I'm definitely going to do it on the Gotenks account. Whenever she dispels a debuff on herself, so her basic cleanses. If you crit, I think Galactic Republic allies gain protection up 10% for 2 turns. So you could get that on top of the 40%. You could get tons of protection up. Everyone's getting it all the time. Not only protecting you, but turning it into offense. So I think that's an awesome one. I think that'll really change the game, especially when you add it with this. With the protection disruption, I think it's going to be a great combination, and it's just going to melt people, so keep an eye out for that. Now, as for the reroll priorities, this set is a little different. I do think the level 9 abilities are a little bit weaker than we've been seeing for a while. I think the number one reroll priority is getting defense. So I think you reroll your stats and you want to get defense. Faction comes up at number 2 because there's plenty of strong ones. There's that protection disruption for Galactic Republic. And so that's a very prevalent faction. There's a lot of Galactic Republic characters and teams out there. The alignment level 3, I think, is next. Although that and character, kind of a toss-up. It's not really one where there's tons of level 3s you want to stock up on. The best is the light side bulky cron. But again, this is a 3v3 set. So alignment and character kind of last on the totem pole, but I definitely think, it's worth picking up, Deba Balaba, Ahsoka, Palpatine, stuff like that. And now it's the part of the show where we talk about focused datacrons. So right off, I'll say all of these are at least good. None of these are bad at all. There's one level 15, that's the Cassian one, and then there's 3 level 9s, that's Darth, Revan, ISB, and then Luminara. So I'll say the Darth Revan one would appear to me, at least, to be probably the weakest one in terms of general application. It's definitely strong. It's good. It's 100% health is great. That's the biggest draw to it. 70% tenacity is okay. It's nice. 100% armor pen. It's designed to be, obviously with Darth Revan and Bastila. This is a 3v3 set, so you think, okay, Revan, Bastila, Malik, they're all going together. The head scratcher is that this is armor pen. Bastila and Revan do special damage, and then Malik does physical, but most of his biggest threat is the true damage life drain. So that makes me feel like whoever's putting these together doesn't have a good understanding of everything in the game. I don't know, just my take. Level 3. For Malik's turn, dispel all debuffs on him and recover 5% health for each debuff dispelled that way. Okay, it's a decent ability. He's not going to be debuffed. It's not like crazy. It's like a built-in like Trey mechanic, except he heals from the dispel instead of taking damage. That's all right. Whenever Bastila inflicts a debuff, they recover 25% of the max health and max protection once per turn. So if it didn't have once per turn, it'd be like if she could be at death's door, spam her debuffs, and she's all the way back up. This is meh. This is so meh. This is whatever. Like, this is not sweetening the deal. This is, who cares? Darth Revan. When a Sith ally dispels foresight, so does that mean you just try to hit them and it's gone? I would think so. Blind that enemy for 1 turn. Okay, that's all right. Whenever Darth Revan uses basic during his turn, call all Sith Empire allies to assist. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. That's really good. The downside is you really like his specials. But, from using Darth Revan a lot, I know it's sometimes debatable whether to use this AoE shock. The AoE fear is almost like always do it if you can hit the leader. And then from his basic, if he's hitting the enemy leader, he's reducing his cooldown. So that makes it very enticing to use his basic against the enemy leader. Or someone with corrupted battle meditation because he's going to attack again. Call all Sith Empire allies to assist. So it doesn't say all other Sith Empire allies, so maybe it's him too. So he might hit 3 times. I don't know. Or at least twice if there's corrupted battle meditation. And at the start of his turn, if no other enemy has corrupted battle meditation, inflict corrupted battle meditation on a random enemy. So that ensures he has a target where he can double hit on. This ability is pretty good. I don't think it's a massive game changer. I don't think it's something where if you sit on defense, you're like, oh crap, I would feel good about taking out a Darth Revan team, but now I don't think I can. I don't think it's to that level. I think it's going to be nice added to like a Malgus team. I don't think there's anything mandating you use Bastila on the team. I still think for like High Kyber when you do a Malgus lead Darth Revan Malik, it's definitely going to sweeten the deal. That's going to be really nice. but it's not crazy. And as a Datacron, it's good, but it is a little bit more limited. So this is rank number 4 for me. Rank number 3, and still in the good category, would be the Datacron. So I think this will probably see the most play as a Datacron. It's got 100% defense, 75% crit damage, or crit avoidance, which is even better. 50% health. So it's definitely a big survivability cron, which is where I think most people will use it. I don't think many people, even if you went for like 5 stars or 4 stars, I don't think this makes a Dedra team amazing. I think it's more for players that have a 7-star Dedra team where you're using it with Dedra. So I think most people just use it as a stat cron, which is great. It's a great cron. The abilities. KX. Whenever they lose taunt, remove 50% turn meter from all enemies. We see that all the time. It's solid. It's a good ability. So nothing stupid about it. At the start of each of Major Partagaz's turn, result their cooldowns, and they lose 5% health for each turn. Each ability was reduced. So I guess if it's like 5 turns of cooldown reduction, he loses 25% health, and he can't be defeated like that. Yeah, he's going to get around to his abilities, which is always helpful. I have not had a ton of experience using them, so I won't claim to be an expert. But yeah, it's going to be something. Dedra, the level 9 ability. She has 100% defense to the end of the encounter. Once per turn, whenever an ISB ally uses an ability, she assists. So she's going to be assisting all the time. That team has no attackers, the ISB, so you're going to need any assist you can get. Undermine the ISB allies deal 50% more damage when using an ability out of turn. At the start of each Undermine ally's turn, they take 1 damage, which can't defeat them. I think you're getting some bonuses for taking damage, so it's just cheesing that by triggering a trivial amount of damage to boost them up. I think it's okay. I mean, I would be a bit surprised if it's like a powerhouse, but it's definitely worth getting with all the stats. Like, I think it's anyone that does use Datacrons, definitely the one you want to pick up. I think most of these are. And then for the set, I think the silver medalist is Mr. Cassian. Mainly he's falling to second based on cost and stat relative weakness. So these stats I don't love. 60% health steal, 60% tenacity, 50% crit damage is decent, 125% defense is nice. But you have to level up to 14 to get those stats. 20 million data cache, it's kind of nuts. The abilities, once you get up to Cassian's, Kalea's, and Luthen's, it's pretty good. And remember, this is 3v3, so this will help determine what the 3v3 team is for endgame. Level 3, whenever Cinta stealths, they reduce their cooldowns of their special abilities by 1. She just has 1 special ability, so I guess it'll be easier to get to it. It's kind of okay. Whenever another ally recovers protection, Vel gains foresight for 1 turn. That can happen pretty frequently, so she can have a lot of foresight. That's decent. That's a decent add-on. I would say the overall cron is awesome rating based on Cassian stuff at the bottom. Kalea. Whenever Kalea crits an enemy, her basic always is going to crit. She gains damage immunity for 1 turn, which can't be copied, 25% turn meter, and blinds the enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. So that's pretty nice. If the enemy was target locked, Kalea also gains protection up, retribution, and speed for 2 turns. Although, if you have damage immunity, the retribution doesn't matter because it only triggers if you do damage. But all that's good. I mean, she's going to be hard to kill, and she's probably the flimsiest one on the team. So she'll take all the help she can get. Luthen. Whenever a summoned ally is damaged, he has a marked summon. All allies gain 20% offense for 1 turn and 20% turn meter. That is important when combined with Cassian's ability. Whenever a rebel fighter ally gains turn meter, they deal bonus damage equal to true damage equal to 20% of their max health to undermine enemies. This could just melt people. If your decoy, your summon gets hit, everyone gets 20% turn meter. The whole team does 20% max health damage to undermine enemies. They must, I want to see this in practice, they must just melt. It's crazy. I haven't actually seen it yet. If it's working significantly differently than that, then I don't know. Whenever a rebel fighter receives 2 or more instances of damage from an undermined enemy during their turn, dispel undermine on that enemy and inflict undermine, like a locked undermine. So it's all about keeping undermine. That's really baked into his kit. Having undermine on enemies is good. There's a lot of stuff in their kits that triggers that. It's mainly this melting thing, which is crazy. Like I said, the biggest downsides are the stats are kind of weak and it's very expensive. I'm actually gonna look at this, view the ability mechanic. Actually, I immediately regret this. I don't understand how this works. Like, what is child effect? What child effects apply? I don't get it. So I'm not gonna become a coder today, and someone else will have to explain this part to you. Now, the gold medalists, the most awesome one, in my opinion, is the Luminara. And this should be available to a broader number of players than the Cassian one, I think. First of all, the stats. It's basically a Wampacron mixed with lots of potency and tenacity. 100% offense, 100% crit damage, which were the more important elements of the Wampacron, because the other 100 was armor pen, which doesn't always apply to every character. But you're getting tons of damage and potency and tenacity. That's busted. From a level 9, and only costs 10 million. I'm actually going to look at the stats. Level 1, crit damage, 50%. 50% offense, level 2. 75% tenacity. 50% offense, level 1. Every time there's a stat upgrade, it's a banger. It's amazing. So that is crazy. Level 3. So anyone who is, relatively end game, late game during the Naboo raid will have a functioning Kit Fisto, and this will be relevant. I think mine is like R7 at least, or R5, I don't know. Kit has 100% health steal, kind of whatever. But at the start of the battle, grant guard to all other Galactic Republic Jedi under allies until Kit is defeated. Guard is what Chewbacca gives out, where you can't be crit. Crazy. Crit Fisto, and you're immune to stun. That's really good. And maybe something else. Kit Fisto and all allies with guard have 100% accuracy, have their health and protection equalized at the start of each ally's turn. So think of like Geonosians equalizing their health and protection. And then when Kit attacks out of turn, he recovers health and protection, lowers the cooldown of turn the tie by 1. Whenever Kit, which is his special, whenever Kit uses a special ability, all Galactic Republic Jedi allies gain retribution for 2 turns. Whenever he uses his basic, dispel all buffs. That's a lot, but you got to think of it mixed in with the rest of the team as well, because it's even more than that. Level 6, Katie Moody, who is sadly the most difficult unit in the game to get naturally. You could buy his Lightspeed token. No one's doing Lightside Geonosis. Ain't nobody gonna unlock Kiadi Mundi with Gas 501st doing Geonosis TB for months. Just not really gonna happen. If you can do Geonosis Lightside TB, you can kill it in Rise of the Empire. Anyway, if the ally in the leader supply is not a GL, leader slot, I don't know if I said splot, the following effects are active. Once per battle, when he switches to a Taru form, instantly defeat the target enemy. So he starts in a Taru. So to get this, you would have to probably switch to Bakashi and then go back to a Taru. So it is a bit of a delayed effect. It's kind of like Cal Kestis. Like he has to go through a few things to get there, a few turns. But nevertheless, it is an insta-kill. Once per battle, when he switches to Bakashi, he revives the random defeated ally. So it's kind of annoying. To get to the instant defeat, you have to burn the revive. So either you wait for someone to die and use the revive, or you really go hard for the Ataru. But he starts on Ataru, so he's going to do good damage anyway. Level 9, Luminara. Whenever an enemy attacks on a turn, which happens all the time, all enemies are inflicted with protection disruption for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. And all allies get a stack of heal over time, protection over time for 2 turns. So protection disruption is the whole thing. Like I was talking about with the level 6 for Galactic Republic, this is a busted debuff. This is insane. This is something I'm not looking forward to seeing. I think we'll see a Queen Amidala team with Lumi and maybe Kit. I can see that as a super viable 5v5, but this is a 3v3 set. So in 3v3, I don't know. I don't know if you scrap the rest of the team, throw Luminara in there with someone. This is not limited to no GLs. You could put her with Ray or something, whatever. Yeah, it's good. I think this is similar to her. It's either similar or the same as her ability we had before when we had the healer Kron. But we don't have that level 6 anymore, so. But I do think overall this is kind of a busted Kron. If only just for the stats. If we don't. The limitation is it would be better as a 5v5 Kron. We're going to get 1 season like that, then it's done. But still, this is really strong. So definitely awesome for Luminara. That's going to do it for this set, DC set 30. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think of this set. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.